Welcome to the Tool Insider. Cheap power tools versus expensive ones. When is the big brand actually worth it? And when are you just paying for the name? We put 8 everyday tools head to head. Let's settle it. All right, let's talk cordless drills. Because you don't need to drop serious cash to get serious work done. This is the tool that turns hours of manual screwing into seconds, drives screws flush with zero effort, and bores holes through wood, metal, even masonry if you've got the right bit. For most home DIYers, that's all you're doing. Hanging shelves, assembling furniture, building a deck, or swapping out hardware. A Ryobi 1 Plus drill will crush those tasks without breaking a sweat. And the best part? The battery works across their whole lineup, so your impact driver, circular saw, and even your work light run off the same power pack. Now DeWalt's premium line? More torque, longer run time, and built like a tank. Perfect if you're framing houses or drilling all day. But for light home use, you're paying for power you'll never tap into. Save the cash and invest in a second battery instead, because running out of juice mid-project is the real buzzkill. Bottom line, unless your drill lives on a job site, the budget pick is more than enough. You've tried to muscle a long screw into hardwood with a drill and felt it grind to a halt. That's where the impact driver steps in. No more stripped screws, no more wrestled wrists. This beast delivers sudden rotational bursts, hammering torque straight into fasteners so you can sink them with ease. Budget models like the Black Plus Decker BDCI-20C get the job done for casual projects, light assembly, deck boards, or hanging shelves. They're light on the wallet and solid for weekend tasks. But when you're building a fence, framing a shed, or running hundreds of screws through treated lumber, the Milwaukee M18 Fuel is the difference between finishing strong and walking away frustrated. Speed control matters. More settings mean better finesse for delicate work. Durability? Premium drivers shrug off drops and dust like it's nothing. The extra torque isn't just power, it's peace of mind. Verdict: if you're driving a lot of fasteners, go premium. It pays for itself in time saved and headaches avoided. Pro tip: pair it with impact-rated bits. They last longer and handle the torque without snapping. All right, listen up. Because if you're serious about DIY, a circular saw is your ticket to freedom from pre-cut plywood and begged table saw time. This thing slices through sheets, 204s, even decking like butter, and does it on your driveway instead of some lumberyard staging area. You want clean, repeatable cuts? That starts with a base plate that doesn't flex like a taco shell. Skil's entry saw gets the job done, good enough for weekend projects and learning the ropes. But once you feel that Makita's 1-degree detent click into place and watch the blade track dead straight without wobble, you'll never look back. That stiffness means less tear out, less kickback, and way more confidence when you're one-handed on a ladder. Upgrade the motor too. 15 amp. Makita pulls hard through wet pressure treated without bogging down, while budget models gasp and slow, burning the wood in your patience. Buy once, cry once, cut straight forever. Quick tip: clamp a straight edge to your workpiece and let the saw ride it. Turns any circular saw into a track saw for perfect long rip cuts. You've got a weekend to turn that rough plywood shelf into something silky smooth, and you're staring at Orbital sanders that cost less than a tank of gas or more than your last power bill. What gives? Both spin a round pad in tiny circles to erase scratches faster than your old sanding block ever could. This is the game changer that makes paint stick, stain pop, and furniture feel like glass. Budget champs like Wen throw down 12,000 orbits a minute, hook up to your shop vac, and keep vibration low enough that you can still text afterward. Premium sanders like Festool dial in dust collection so tight the filter stays clean for weeks, and the finish is so flawless you'll think the wood came that way from the mill. Unless you're sanding kitchen cabinets for a living, the budget sander hands you 90% of the mirror finish for a tenth of the price. Mount 120 grit to start, let the weight of the tool do the work, and step down to 2-on-20 for the final pass. Your arms will thank you, and your project will look pro. All right, listen up. Because the angle grinder is the Swiss Army knife of power tools. It cuts, grinds, polishes, and even sharpens. Need to slice through metal, tile, or concrete? This thing chews it up like a hungry lion. Want to smooth out rough edges or strip rust off old tools? Done. It's a game changer for home DIYers because it turns hours of back-breaking work into minutes of effortless power. Now, let's talk budget versus premium. Bauer's got a solid entry-level grinder that'll get the job done. But here's the deal. When it comes to angle grinders, safety isn't where you want to cut corners. Bosch's premium models come with a beefier guard, an electric brake that stops the wheel in under a second, and anti-kickback tech that could save your fingers. Or worse, heat management? Premium grinders handle it like a champ, keeping cool under pressure so you don't burn out the motor mid-job. Both cut, but spend up for the better guard, brake, and anti-kickback. This is one to take seriously. If you're grabbing a grinder, make sure it's got a paddle switch. It's a small feature with huge safety perks. And always wear gloves, goggles, and ear protection. This tool doesn't mess around. Tip? Keep a firm two-handed grip. Control is everything with an angle grinder. All right, listen up. You've got this weird-looking thing called an oscillating tool. Fein basically dreamed it up. And now every brand from Genesis on up is selling one. What does it do? It vibrates back and forth faster than a hummingbird's wings, letting you cut, sand, scrape, and grind in tight spots where nothing else fits. Need to trim a door jamb, slice through drywall without tearing it, or remove grout? This is your secret weapon. Now, let's talk real talk. That $40 Genesis? It'll get the job done if you're using it once a month. But if you're in this thing weekly, Fein's smoothness and raw speed turn frustration into pure flow. The difference isn't just in vibration, it's blade compatibility. Fein's Starlock system locks blades in like a bank vault, while budget brands can feel like they're holding on with chewing gum. Verdict's simple. Budget handles occasional jobs. Fein's worth it only if you're swinging it constantly. Either way, go slow on cuts. Let the tool do the work, don't force it, and you'll nail every corner without wrecking blades. That's how you own it. You ever try cutting a curve in plywood with a handsaw? Forget it. By the time you're done, you've got splinters, sweat, and a shape that looks more like modern art than a project. That's where the Jigsaw steps in, the unsung hero of tight turns and custom cuts. This thing doesn't just slice through wood, it dances, letting you carve circles, notches, and scrollwork like you're tracing with a pencil. And if you're building anything with personality, custom shelving, a kid's play kitchen, even fitting trim around an odd-angle fireplace, this tool is your ticket to looking like a pro. Now let's talk budget. Grab a Wen Jigsaw for under $50. And yeah, it'll cut. But here's the catch. Cheap jigsaws wander. That blade? It flexes, vibrates, pulls left on curves like it's got a mind of its own. You'll end up sanding more than you cut, fighting to smooth out wobbly edges. Not a deal breaker if you're doing rough cuts or demo, but if you want clean, controlled lines, you're going to feel the frustration. Then there's Bosch, specifically the Bosch JS470E. That extra $100? It buys you blade tracking that actually works. Bosch's precision machined guide keeps the blade dead straight, even on tight arcs. You'll feel the difference the second you pull the trigger. Less chatter, less wander, more control. And vibration? Almost gone. That means cleaner cuts, less tear out, and way less sanding afterward. This isn't overkill. It's the upgrade most DIYers wish they'd made sooner. Use it right. Match your blade to the material. Fine teeth for plywood, aggressive teeth for softwoods, metal cutting blades for, well, metal. Let the tool do the work, don't force it, or you'll bend the blade and ruin the cut. And for the love of precision, clamp your workpiece down. A jigsaw's magic is in the curves, but only if your material isn't moving. Bottom line, a jigsaw belongs in your shop. But if you're serious about clean cuts and saving time, skip the budget jitters and go straight to Bosch. That extra cash? It pays for itself in smoother projects and fewer headaches. And here's your tip. Always cut just outside your line, then sand to perfection. Your curves will thank you. You've got baseboards to hang, crown molding to install, and a shelf that's been leaning against the wall for way too long. Enter the Brad Nailer, the quiet hero of finish work. This thing drives thin 18-gauge brads into wood without splitting it, leaving tiny holes you can barely see. No more pre-drilling. No more wrestling with a hammer and tiny nails. Just pull the trigger and click. Perfectly driven brads every time. Now, let's talk budget versus premium. Harbor Freight's central pneumatic nailer gets the job done for occasional projects. It's light on your wallet and heavy on convenience, but don't expect it to last through a marathon of trim work without jamming. Depth control can be hit or miss, and if you're nailing into hardwood, you might find yourself wrestling with it more than you'd like. Then there's DeWalt. This thing is built like a tank. Consistent depth, rare jams, and a trigger that feels like it was designed for your finger. It's the tool you reach for when you've got a whole house of trim to install, or you're running a side hustle building furniture. But here's the kicker. Unless you're using it daily, that premium price tag isn't justified. For a weekend warrior, the budget nailer is more than enough. Want to get the most out of it? Keep your air compressor set to 90 psi, use the right brads for the job, and always test the depth on a scrap piece first. And here's the pro tip. If you're doing a lot of trim, invest in a good air hose. A cheap kinked hose will rob you of pressure and turn your premium nailer into a frustrating paperweight. Bottom line, if you're just dabbling, save your cash. But if this tool is your lifeline, don't cheap out. So is the premium price worth it? Sometimes yes, sometimes absolutely not. Tell me where you land in the comments and subscribe to the Tool Insider so you never overpay again.